Hi everyone, it's Kay White. I wanted to go live. I told you before about the challenge that I'm in, where we're going live every day for the next 31 days. And so I'll just say for the month of April, and I'm sorry, the month of May. And with that, I started yesterday talking about just starting early and how important it is to start early with your finances and investing. In particular, was the discussion that we started yesterday. And I shared with you my custom GPT that I created called the Handy Money Mentor. I have it here. I'm going to go ahead and click over into ChatGPT and just talk about that a little bit more today. And if you aren't familiar with what a custom GPT is, uh, through ChatGPT, you have the option to create all type of custom GPTs that typically are created to make life easier, and somehow it might be a process that you do on a regular basis, or it might be that you need to create a GPT for a business, something like that. Whatever it is, just I tell people to think about what is it that you do on a regular basis and you need a system to streamline that for you. That's what a GPT can be used for. And I will say pretty much it's designed to do. Whether it's creating art, you might create a custom GPT to help you with creating art or maybe coloring pages. Or it might be something like, let's say one of my favorite things to say is if you were creating the digital business of some sort, and let's just select my favorite thing, which is creating resumes and assisting people with the process, then you could create a GPT to help you in some way simplify the process and make it better. Well, with the Handy Money Mentor custom GPT that I created, that's exactly what I attempted to do. I wanted something that people could go into and basic get basic guidance on anything related to personal finance. The custom GPT was really created with young people in mind. And so it's a good place to go there and to get fast and quick answers to questions. And I love telling people you can use it for a number of different things. For example, you could potentially tell it that you have X amount of dollars in debt and ask it to help you determine how much you would need to pay monthly in order to pay off the debt that you owe at a specific interest rate. Well, you may know that interest rates and the way that interest is calculated can vary, but considering that, and if you just want a good idea of about how much you would need to pay on the debt monthly to pay it off, it could do that for you. You could tell it the amount you owe, how long. uh, Well, you could do it a couple ways. You could tell it the amount that you owe, and based on the monthly payments that you're making, it could give you an idea of how long it's going to take at a specific interest rate. Or if you wanted to give you an idea of how much you would, how much faster you could pay off the debt if you increase the amount of money that you are applying towards it. It can do all kind of great calculations like that. So it's pretty fun for you to do something like that within the Handy Money Mentor, or as well as just conversing with ChatGPT as well. The thing about very often when a person creates a custom GPT, they will usually give it some specific instructions. And with those specific instructions, they're usually geared towards just making the conversation easier in the process. You could even have conversation starters when you are creating your custom GPT. But with that in mind, I hope this doesn't sound like Greek, because I know a lot of times when it's a new tool or resource, it takes some time to get familiar with it. And considering that I know this AI world can be a little bit confusing at times, so I'm certainly mindful of that. But the whole point of creating a custom GPT is to try to simplify things and make it easier for you to get the information that you need. And so hopefully custom, this handy money mentor custom GPT, I should say, hopefully it is something that is a good resource to help you with the process of understanding of finances a little bit better, and you can use it as a tool for that. I love using it to create tables, and I'm gonna go back up here where we were talking about before, and that is, let's scroll all the way back up because I've been kind of playing around with this, just trying to help some young people with understanding a little bit more about how they can start early and over time create a portfolio. And let me get all the way back up. I might as well scroll all the way up because I think it's up here. Yeah. Okay, this is where I wanted to get to. This is what I talked about yesterday, and it just talked about if a person, if you're a young person, you were trying to reach $1 million. You wanted to build $1 million portfolio. It tells you the amounts that you would need at the amount that you would have to invest annually, I should say, to get there. And so what I like, I'm going to jump down to the bottom because it starts with 10 years and then 20 years and then 30 years. And when you get down here to investing for 40 years, this looks a little bit more appealing. It certainly looks like something that the average person could manage, particularly if they were young and starting out and they had an income in place, had a career and they just wanted to start investing. Look at this, $680. I love that because when you divide that out, I believe it comes to about $56. And so hold on a quick second. I want to make sure you're able to see my screen here. I think you're not. Let me click here. Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure that you're seeing my screen. So what I was talking about is investing over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You jump down here and you're at about, you can see that you would need to invest annually about $680 to build $1 million portfolio over a 40-year period. And so if we go down a little bit further, and shows that this is at about 20% annually. I had previously done it at 10% because on average, typically, there's no guarantee what performance any of the financial markets they're going to do. It depends on, let me back up. It depends on what you're investing in. And if you're investing on average, the typical growth that is safe, commonly you would be told by an advisor that you were going to expect to, or you should expect to receive it right at about 10%. So traditionally, the markets, depending on what you're investing in, they've even outperformed that. There have been some years that the S&P has actually done even greater than 20%. Now, that's not all the time. I like to try to identify a balance. And so that's why I decided to use 20, about a rate of 20%. And I basically just told Chat, my handy money mentor here, please create the same calculation with a 20% return annually. And the money mentor went ahead and did that for me. And it says to find out how much a young person needs to invest annually in the S&P 500 index to reach 1 million, assuming an average annual growth rate of 20%. We can use the formula for the future value of a series of cash flows, regular investments, and it gives this formula here. I'm trying to not have this become complicated as I talk with people at any time. The main reason that I talk about investing live is because not often I find that people are still uncomfortable and a little bit afraid of investing. So I talk about it because I want to encourage people to begin building a portfolio. You can get started doing something on your own, or you can get started with a financial advisor, or you can just kind of think about what it is that you want to accomplish and determine if the S&P and investing in one of the S&P indexes, if that is the best option for you, or if you want to just look for companies that you're familiar with. I encourage young people to do that all the time. Start with companies that are good dividend growth companies and invest in those over a period of time. And these are the things that you see commonly day to day, or that you might even use yourself. That's another great way to get started. And again, this is investing over a 40-year period, is what I'm focused on here. And I would tell you, if possible, I would double that. I would try to do about $50 in two different strategies. I would look at probably something like the S&P 500, and then also I would just again begin the process of becoming comfortable with being in the market, investing so much monthly into a different stock that you like or that you are familiar with, whatever that is for you, whatever tools and resources you like using, and foods and all of that. Um, this is a great way to get started and to start becoming familiar. You can start to research those companies and just kind of look at how they have performed in the past. If you look at the historical performance, that can be a real interesting way to gain some insight based on what has happened in the past. The market has just traditionally been a winner, meaning it'll pull back, and it might pull back for a period of time. And one of the greatest things you can do is something called dollar cost averaging, where you invest the same amount every month, and over time you're building a portfolio. So that's something for you to consider as well. And let's see if there's something else I want to talk about. I think I'll stay on this topic for a little bit. And those of you who have followed me and with the AI tools and resources, trust me, we're going to get back there. But I've started just kind of talking a little bit more about the financial side, because I want people to have a knowledge of some basic knowledge, I should say. And the things that you hear me talk about, I have to say that I'm not telling you that you're going to have success and it's going to be easy and that is for everyone. It may or may not be for you, but I encourage you to learn more information, even if, again, you have to start with something like Acorns, but start to gain knowledge, and especially if you have young children, and get them started and interested at an early age. Let them buy some of the things that they like to buy in the store. Let them check and see if that stock is on the market, and then let them take a look at that and just kind of decide if that's something you want to buy. You have to be flexible when you are an investor. Stocks will not go in the same direction all the time. So you really have to structure yourself to be in it for the long haul. I have to and have to repeat that. You just got to really make sure that you kind of have a plan for the future, and it's not all about right now and instant gratification. You got to really have a little, I would say, a lot of patience in the sense that you're doing stuff today for your future self. There's a quote that I love. I put it on my Facebook wall not too long ago, but it says something to the extent, do something today that your future self would be proud of. And that's exactly what you're doing when you start investing. You want to be smart, you want to continue to educate yourself, but get started being comfortable in the market, and don't start with a big amount. Start with a small amount and make sure that it's something that you don't need to apply towards bills and other necessities. Make sure that you're using some funds that are in excess of what you would need to just manage your day-to-day living. Okay, so that's where I will leave it today. And we'll probably continue to talk more on this discussion, because I am just a real advocate of people just having knowledge and starting to look beyond just the maintaining the status quo and looking for opportunities to grow and learn. So that's what I have for you today. And we'll talk more about this and other topics in the future. This is Kay White. Have a great, great, great evening, and follow my brand. Definitely stop in to see what the topic is. We talk about everything related to typically girls in finance, that's starting with young girls to older women, and just making sure that we are looking out for preparing, I should say, for a brighter future, and that we're making decisions today that are going to be a big reward to us in the future. Okay, take care. That's all I have for you tonight. Kay White with Girls in Finance. Take care.